Hello everyone, this is Dr. Hatami. Let's continue with the endocrine system and talk about the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland, also known as hypophysis. The pituitary gland is a very small but extremely important gland, often called the master gland, because it produces hormones that control many other endocrine glands, tissues, and structures in the body. Because it's so vital, it is protected inside of the skull, sitting in a small bony cavity which is called sella torsica in the sphenoid bone. The pituitary gland has two main portions, posterior pituitary gland and anterior pituitary gland. These two parts are very different in their structure, in their hormones they're producing, and in their function. So like posterior pituitary gland, it would be found in the back of the hypophysis. It's the storage for the hormones coming from the hypothalamus. So it's going to store and release the hypothalamic hormones. It doesn't produce any hormones by itself. And then anterior pituitary gland, which is going to be found on anterior or the front side of the pituitary gland, it's going to have many glandular cells and producing and secreting different hormones. Now let's talk about the posterior pituitary gland. The posterior pituitary gland, if you look at this under microscope, it's mostly neural tissue. You cannot find any glandular cell. It doesn't make hormones itself. Instead, it stores and releases the hormones made by hypothalamus. What are these two hormones? These gonna be made by hypothalamus and stored and released by the posterior pituitary gland. We have antidiuretic hormone ADH and oxytocin hormone. The antidiuretic hormone or ADH, its job is to help the body retain water. When the body is dehydrated or blood pressure or blood volume is low, then ADH would be released. Then ADH target organ is the kidney. It's going to stimulate the kidney to reabsorb more water. So during the urine formation, it's going to reabsorb more water and return them back to the blood instead of removing them through urine formation. So in this way, it's keeping the body hydrated and also maintaining the blood pressure. But how about the oxytocin? The oxytocin target these two organs, uterus and mammary gland. During labor, oxytocin helps the uterus contract for childbirth. And during nursing, it helps release milk from the mammary gland. So these are the two target organs for the oxytocin. There is a condition related to the ADH, which is called diabetes insipidus. Insipidus means tasteless because the urine is very watery. It's not sweet. There is no sugar in their urine, and instead they have lots of water in their urine. This happens when the body doesn't produce enough ADH. So then the kidneys cannot save water. So they're going to lose their water through the urine formation instead of keeping them in body. So the main symptoms is excessive urination and also extreme thirst. All the time they feel thirsty and then they need to go to the bathroom a lot. And in severe cases, it can lead to the dehydration. Now let's talk about the anterior pituitary gland. The anterior pituitary gland is made up of glandular tissue and produces many important hormones. There is a vascular connection between the hypothalamus and anterior pituitary gland. So this special blood connection is called hypothalamic pituitary portal system. The hypothalamus sends releasing and inhibiting hormone And to tell the anterior pituitary when to release its hormone or when to stop releasing hormones. So the example of these releasing and inhibiting hormone, like we have thyroid releasing hormone. Thyroid releasing hormone or thyrotropin releasing hormone or TRH. And we have corticotropin releasing hormone CRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone GnRH, growth hormone releasing hormone GHRH, somatostatin GHIH. It is inhibiting hormone, and PIH prolactin inhibiting hormone or dopamine. So as you can see, these are releasing hormone and inhibiting hormone made by hypothalamus. Through the portal vein, they're going to release these hormones to the anterior pituitary gland to control when it needs to release or stop releasing the hormone related to those hormones, like the GHRH, growth hormone releasing hormone, is actually stimulating the anterior pituitary gland to release more growth hormone. Or the corticotropin releasing hormone is going to stimulate the anterior pituitary gland to release adrenocorticotropin hormone. The adrenocorticotropin hormone target would be adrenal cortex. Then adrenal cortex is going to produce its own hormone, which is like cortisol. So as you can see, the hypothalamus is going to control the anterior pituitary gland by releasing and inhibiting hormone through the special blood or vascular connection, which is called the hypothalamic pituitary portal system. So then now let's talk about the hormones made by anterior pituitary gland. So if you look at the anterior pituitary gland under microscope, as I mentioned before, it's made up of many glandular cells and producing many important hormones. So the hormones made by anterior pituitary gland, one of them is TSH or thyroid release or stimulating hormone. As the name of this hormone is descriptive, the thyroid stimulating hormone stimulate the thyroid gland. It means the target organ for TSH is thyroid gland. So it's stimulating thyroid gland to make thyroid hormones. So then thyroid gland is going to make thyroid hormones, which they're going to control the metabolism, Okay, next we have ACTH made by anterior pituitary gland or adrenocorticotropin hormone. This is going to stimulate the adrenal cortex to make cortisol, which help respond to stress or a stress hormone. Then next we have follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone or group of gonadotropins. So gonadotropins, it's going to be FSH and LH, which they control the reproductive organs. It means their target organ would be ovary in female and testis in male. They help make sperm in male and eggs in female, and also they regulate sex hormone production like estrogen, progesterone in female and testosterone in male. Then we have growth hormone, GH, which targets muscle and bones and promoting growth and height. Then prolactin hormone, it's targeting the mammary glands, helping producing milk. So the mammary gland is the target organ for prolactin. It's helping production or produce milk. Then we have MSH or melanocyte stimulating hormone. It stimulate melanin production, which affecting skin color. Okay, so then now let's review. We are talking about the hormone made by anterior pituitary gland. We have thyroid stimulating hormone or TSH, adrenocorticotropin hormone or ACTH, gonadotropin hormone, FSH and LH, prolactin, melanocyte stimulating hormone, and then growth hormone GH. So many of them, their name is descriptive and it's actually showing what is their target organ. Like thyroid stimulating hormone, their target organ would be thyroid, making thyroid hormones. Then adrenocorticotropin hormone, adrenal cortex is the target organ, and then they're producing cortisol. Then gonadotropin, their target organ would be gonads, testes and ovaries in male and female. And then melanocyte stimulating hormone, their target would be melanocyte. But prolactin, it has the mammary gland as the target organ, and they're going to stimulate the milk production, and growth hormone targeting liver, bones, muscles, stimulating the growth, cell repair, and metabolism. So we can say that growth hormone has almost all of the cells in our body, they have receptor for growth hormone, but basically our bones and muscles specifically, and then it's going to kind of stimulate the lengths of long bone, especially during childhood. Now let's talk about some of the conditions related to the growth hormone. Based on the amount of growth hormone that would be produced during the childhood or during the adulthood, we can have some conditions. We have pituitary dwarfism, which occurs when children have too little growth hormone. So low amount of growth hormone during the childhood, resulting in short stature but normal proportions. We have the gigantism. So occurs when children have too much growth hormone. It means when the growth plate is open and it's cartilaginous and it still can grow, then it's causing the long bones to grow excessively and leading to very tall stature. But the acromegaly, it's excess growth hormone, but it's going to happen during the adulthood whenever the growth plate has been closed. So instead of having a longer, long bones, then the hands bone and feet and face will be more enlarged. Okay, so that was a quick review of the pituitary, anterior pituitary gland and posterior pituitary gland, all the hormones they're going to produce and how they would be controlled. And now let's finish this video by one test on your understanding question. Let's read the question together. Which of the following hormones are produced by anterior pituitary gland? Please pay attention. We know the pituitary gland has two portions, anterior and posterior. We said posterior is more neural tissue. It doesn't produce anything, it just releases them. But the anterior pituitary gland, it has many glandular cells, it can produce many hormones. Let's read these all options. Thyrotropin releasing hormone. Whenever you have the releasing hormone, pay attention, that should be the hormone made by hypothalamus. So thyroid releasing hormone is going to stimulate the anterior pituitary gland to produce TSH or thyroid stimulating hormone. That is the hormone made by anterior pituitary gland, but not thyrotropin releasing hormone. Okay, so that is the hormone made by hypothalamus. Oxytocin. Yes, this hormone is also made by the hypothalamus. And then it's going to be stored and released by posterior pituitary gland. And then we have PIH, inhibiting hormone. Again, that is the hormone made by hypothalamus. Antidiuretic hormone made by hypothalamus. Thyroid stimulating hormone, that is the hormone made by anterior pituitary gland. Okay, so that is the correct answer. Thank you for watching.